Hey y'all, welcome back. I just hit 8k MMR in Battlegrounds and want to get you some of the biggest tips that helped me get there. These aren't just the basics, these are actual strategies that I think are extremely relevant, especially within the quest meta. And I think that these are going to be really helpful for when you're pushing higher MMR, whether you're stuck in the 6 to 7k range, or you're a new player, or you're additionally just reached 8k and you want to start continuing your climb and start thinking about the game more seriously. I think these tips will all help you begin that edge in your climb. Tip number 1 is pick heroes with higher armor. Armor is one of the most underrated stats within Battlegrounds. A hero with an extra 10-15 armor can sometimes be stronger than a hero with a strong hero power just because they're able to stay alive a little bit longer. Additionally, because of quests are tied to a hero's armor, so a hero with more armor is going to have potentially a quest for summoning 10 minions, where a hero with 8 armor is going to potentially need to summon 30. This makes it so you can complete your quest earlier and then potentially get to your late game scaling earlier than the rest of the lobby. Tip number 2, pick heroes that complement quests. Not all heroes are equal when it comes to quests. Some heroes naturally speed them up. Generally, a lot of the quests right now are focused around summoning minions and not death rattles, but like destroying minions or attacking. For this reason, I generally really like heroes that either give some type of summoning mechanic to them, so someone like Lich King that does reborns is really good, or anything that is like a economy tempo kind of thing, like Savjz is an example of this, where you're getting a minion for 2 gold instead of 3. Those are really strong right now, especially because, one, they help with all the multiple different types of quests, and they also are kind of tempo to help you get through the early game. Additionally, hero like Illidan is going to generally be strong. He specifically helps you fix the attack quest, while it's also providing you tempos so that you can level if you get a shop that doesn't necessarily help you finish your quest. Tip number 3, evaluate quest within 2 steps. When you're choosing quests, don't just autopilot pick the one that has the highest rating from your HS replay or deck tracker or whatever. You should really be asking yourself 2 questions. First, is this quest reward actually helpful? Don't take a Battlecry quest, for example, if something like Elementals and Murlocs aren't in the lobby. Extra Battlecry procs isn't going to give you much. The second thing that you should be thinking about is, how long is it going to take me to complete? Quests should pretty much always be done by turn 8. Ideally, you want to finish them in 1 to 2 turns. You can potentially go a little bit longer if it's something that gives you a true late game win condition, but generally you're really looking for that 1 to 2 turn time frame. Tip number 4, optimize turn 3 with minion holding. This is kind of one of the biggest mistakes I do, just because I autopilot and I see other people not doing, but turn 3 allows you to set yourself up for success. You generally can afford to take that 5 damage just because of damage cap, and this potentially gives you 1 to 2 summons for quests that might be play a particular tribe. If you hold 2 minions of that tribe, generally the quests for the tribe ones are never more than 8, and those are like the really hard quests. Generally there's something like 3 or 4, and this gives you just a really big tempo swing. Holding, especially minions that are like alley cats, kind of value generator ones that you don't expect to trade well, is very key. Tip number 5, always play to win. This is a mindset shift. Don't just play for tempo, play to win. You should always think in your lobby, what can I do to win? You're generally going to look for early scaling lines as early as possible. This is going to be something like spell buffing, Quillbore blood gem buffing, something like brand to get more value. But you should also recognize, if you see someone else hit significantly before you, you're at 50-50, they're at 300-300s, at that point you should start consolidating your stats with spells like Mutinous, and then pivot into scam units like Leroy. Don't just play to scale for the heck of scaling. Playing to win means focusing on whatever your endgame path is, whether that's consolidating stats and playing scam, or being the biggest scaler in the lobby. Tip number 6, don't force the tribe. Your turn 1 minion is essentially not important for the entire game, and getting stuck on that turn 1 minion because that then gives you the better turn 3, 4, 5 minion is a big mistake. Generally, through Tavern Tier 4, you can kind of use this just to get your biggest minion, but after Tavern Tier 4, you should be looking for comp enabling, and after that, you can commit to a comp once you have enabled it. But your Tavern Tier 1, 2 minions generally aren't going to be a factor into that whatsoever. Additionally, you can also kind of pay attention to what the lobby is playing, but generally if you use the mindset of enable and commit points, that's a much safer because you can get away with only having 1 to 2 minions. You don't generally need to actually golden units in the mid game. Really, you just need to have those actual scaling going on during the game itself. Tip number 7, be ready to transition. Scaling is only part of the game. The other part is knowing when to move on. Start thinking early what are your weakest minions and how you're eventually going to replace them. A really good example of this is, let's say you're running one of those combo Rylak comps where you might have a Bran, a Rylak, a McCall, a Titus, and then like whatever battle cry you're proccing. Yes, those are 5 minions that are key to whatever scaling you are, and you're probably buffing 2 minions as a result of that. But generally what you're going to want to do in your last 1 to 2 fights is replace those minions. You have 5 pieces there to replace. If you're doing that full combo, you might in a real game only have 3 or 4 pieces of that combo, but think about it is the Rylak, the McCall, the Brands, they're pretty useless on the board by themselves. If you've scaled your units, you can get rid of those, play 3 Poisonous or Leroy's or whatever with your 2 minions that have gotten huge throughout the game, and you're going to have a much stronger game going forward. Tip number 8, learn Tavern Tier timing. Tavern timing is going to be different for every hero, it's going to be different for every meta. Generally, in the current meta though, you only want to stay on Tavern Tier 2 as long as you need to. In general, you're going to be rushing for Tavern Tier 4. There's kind of one big exception to this is if your quest is strong enough on its own to be a win condition. Something like right now, like the double death rattles, double battle cries, double tavern tier spells are worth staying down. Now this isn't to mean that you should start buying trash by any means, but if you have a good econ shop, good tavern tier 2 minions, then it's worth staying down, potentially 1 turn, maybe 2 at the most. But at that point, if you're staying down more than 2, then the staying down wasn't worth it, and you probably took a quest that you couldn't actually complete. But play 2 win conditions if your quest is a win condition. Tip 9, positioning wins games. It sounds simple, but it always will be kind of the top tier winning is how you position. Try to avoid cleaves. Don't put all your divine shields together. Know if your opponent has blaster or whatever. You know, that's going to be kind of your biggest thing that you can do to win. Finally, don't tilt. Stay focused is our last tip. Take a break in between games. You're going to have bad lobbies and low rolls, but you know, ultimately the biggest part of this game is just getting reps in, and it's not always just about tilting, but it's staying focused during the game. Try to avoid distractions like your phone or multitasking or whatever. You know, there's always something else to think about. Anyways, these are my tips. Hope it helps you guys. Good luck on your climbs. Hopefully I'll see you as well on the leaderboards. Take care. Bye.